Due to space constraints, the first movie, Philosopher's Stone, left out many wonderful details from the book. So we are going to revisit the Philosopher's Stone chapter 7 to 12 and uncover the magic the movie missed. The Black Lake Crossing. New students cross the Black Lake in boats to reach Hogwarts. This is a symbolic crossing of boundaries from the Muggle world into the magical realm. The lake plays a major role throughout the series. Book 4 features the underwater Triwizard task, where Harry has to rescue Ron from the Merpeople. Book 7 has Harry sneaking back through an underwater passage beneath the lake to enter Hogwarts during the final battle. Rowling's playing the long game here, establishing locations in Book 1 that become critical later. Notice how each boat holds exactly 4 people? That's forced socialization from second one. It's like a tutorial level in a video game, making students interact immediately. You can't hide in the back of the bus on this journey. You're thrown together with strangers who might become your best friends or worst enemies. Ron's accidental prophecy. Nervous Ron starts rambling, "I'll kill Fred." He said we'd have to wrestle a troll for sorting. His brothers have been messing with him all summer, filling his head with ridiculous initiation rituals. Plot twist? They actually fight a troll on Halloween. Not for sorting, but still, Rowling's foreshadowing game is insane. She plants these seemingly throwaway jokes that become genuine plot points later. The Sorting Hat's power. This hat writes original songs every year, never repeats lyrics. Think about that. Over 1,000 years of unique compositions. It reads your potential, understands your deepest qualities, and respects your personal choices. Take Hermione. Smart enough for Ravenclaw, no question. The girl memorized entire textbooks before school started. But the hat deliberated for 4 minutes because she wanted to follow Dumbledore's path to Gryffindor. She valued bravery over pure intellect. Students like her are called hatstalls, extremely rare. The only other one we know about is Professor McGonagall herself, who was split between Gryffindor and Ravenclaw. The most important line. The hat tells Harry, "You could be great in Slytherin." This is one of the biggest spoilers in the book, hiding in plain sight. Harry has a piece of Voldemort's soul in his head. He genuinely fits Slytherin traits, speaks Parseltongue, ambitious, desperate to prove himself worth something after a lifetime of being told he's worthless by the Dursleys. But Harry screams internally, "Not Slytherin, not Slytherin." The hat compromises. This embodies Dumbledore's famous quote that comes later. It is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. This theme runs through the entire series. Voldemort and Harry share similar abilities, similar backgrounds, both half-blood orphans who never knew their parents' love. The only difference? Their choices. Voldemort chose power at any cost. Harry chose love and sacrifice. Same potential, opposite paths. The 4 houses decoded. These houses reflect British culture and medieval values. Gryffindor's lion matches the royal crest, symbolizing courage and nobility. Ravenclaw's eagle represents wisdom and perspective. Not a raven, by the way. Common mistake that even the movies got confused about. Hufflepuff's badger symbolizes loyalty and hard work. Badgers are tougher than they look, fiercely protective. Slytherin's snake represents ambition and cunning. Fun fact, Slytherin's translations often get modified in Latin-based languages because snakes carry such negative connotations in Western culture. In some versions, they softened it to serpent or used alternative symbolism entirely. Rowling actually commented on this, saying she meant Slytherin to be morally gray, not inherently evil, but cultural baggage made that difficult. Snape's bullying tactics. First class. Snape delivers a passive-aggressive opening speech about the subtle science and exact art of potion making, then immediately hits Harry with 3 questions way above first-year level. What's the difference between monkshood and wolfsbane? Where would you look if I asked you to find me a bezoar? What do you get when you add powdered asphodel to an infusion of wormwood? Harry can't answer any. Hermione's hand shoots up so fast, she's practically levitating. Snape ignores her completely. He deducts points from Gryffindor and criticizes Harry for not paying attention, even though he literally just walked in. Then adds insult to injury by saying Harry didn't notice Neville melting his cauldron. Classic pick on the new kid energy, but there's more going on beneath the surface. The hidden confession in flower language. But here's the literary genius that most readers miss. The first question asks about powdered asphodel and wormwood. Seems random, right? It's not. In Victorian flower language, which Rowling studied extensively, asphodel means, "My regrets follow you to the grave." It's a funeral flower, associated with the afterlife in Greek mythology. Wormwood symbolizes bitter sorrow and absence of love. It's one of the most bitter substances in nature. Connect those meanings, and Snape's subtext reads, "My regret and bitterness over Lily will haunt me forever." That's some seriously deep foreshadowing buried in what seems like a random potions question. The answer, by the way, is the draught of living death, which is its own bit of symbolic irony. Snape's been living in an emotional death since Lily died. Why Snape hates Harry. Surface reason. Harry looks like James Potter, who bullied Snape relentlessly at school. We're talking serious harassment. James once pants Snape in front of the whole school, including Lily. That kind of humiliation doesn't fade. Deeper reason. Because of Harry, Lily died. The prophecy mentioned a boy, born in July, who'd defeat the Dark Lord. Two candidates existed, Harry and Neville Longbottom. Voldemort chose Harry, marking him as his equal, leading to Lily's sacrifice. Snape might think, if Voldemort had chosen Neville, Lily would still be alive. Harry represents both Snape's worst enemy and his greatest failure. He couldn't save the woman he loved. Yet, simultaneously, Snape must protect Harry because he promised Lily. Dumbledore made him vow to watch over her son. This hate yet protect contradiction makes him the series' most complex character. He's not a good guy playing bad. He's genuinely bitter and cruel, but honors his promise anyway. Behind the scenes gem, Alan Rickman knew Snape's true identity from day one. Rowling told him the secret before anyone else because she needed him to play the character with that knowledge. His performance carries this "I know the truth but can't tell" melancholy throughout. That's why his Snape feels so layered, why every scene has double meaning. The Remembral's recursive joke. Neville's Grand sends him a Remembral. This magical device turns red when you've forgotten something. He picks it up, confused. It turned red, so I definitely forgot something. But I forgot what I forgot. That's recursive humor right there. A reminder that you forgot something without telling you what. Completely useless, but absolutely hilarious. Hidden meaning. In Book 7, before the final battle, Neville finally remembers his identity. He pulls Gryffindor's sword from the sorting hat and destroys Nagini, the last Horcrux. Fans interpret the Remembral as symbolizing his rediscovered courage. Throughout the series, Neville forgets he's brave. By the end, he remembers. Harry's natural flying talent. During flying class, Madam Hooch is teaching basics. Malfoy, being Malfoy, steals Neville's Remembral and takes off. Harry mounts his broom without thinking and chases him down. First time on a broomstick, and he shows incredible natural ability. The broom responds to him like an extension of his body. He catches the falling ball perfectly, pulling up just meters from the ground. Professor McGonagall is stunned. She drags him to Oliver Wood and basically demands he join the Quidditch team. Harry becomes the youngest Seeker in a century, breaking a record that stood since 1890. This talent? Inherited from James Potter, who was also a star Gryffindor chaser. Lily initially disliked James, thought him an arrogant show-off. But his Quidditch skills, his confidence in the air, gradually won her over. She saw him as a whole person, not just the bully who hexed Snape. So Harry's flying talent isn't just magical ability. It's an invisible bond with his father, a genetic gift that connects him to parents he never knew. Malfoy's transparent trap. Malfoy's Midnight Duel challenge is a complete setup. He has zero intention of showing up. He wants to lure Harry out after curfews so Filch catches him. Maybe gets him expelled on day one. It's a petty, calculated move that shows Malfoy's cowardice. He won't fight fair, so he resorts to tattling. The trio's character dynamics. This scene reveals the trio's personalities perfectly. Harry's impulsive but loyal, walking into obvious traps because he can't back down from a challenge. His pride won't let him. Ron's all about friendship loyalty. If Harry's going, Ron's going. No question, no hesitation. Hermione's the rule follower who secretly cares deeply about friends. She argues against going, but ultimately can't let them face danger alone. Hermione ends up going because the fat lady's portrait disappeared, so she couldn't return to the common room. She's literally locked out. Clever forced participation plot device that pushes her into the adventure despite her better judgment. Fluffy's mythological roots. They stumble into the forbidden third-floor corridor, the one Dumbledore explicitly warned about, and encounter Fluffy, Hagrid's three-headed dog. The name means soft and fuzzy, creating adorable irony with its terrifying appearance. Only Hagrid would name a monster something so cute. The design references Cerberus from Greek mythology, guardian of the underworld's entrance. To enter Hades, you must pass Cerberus. In Sorcerer's Stone, Fluffy guards the trapdoor leading underground to the stone's chamber. Perfect symbolic parallel. Want the stone? You gotta go through hell first, literally. Weakness. Music. Play some lullaby, and all three heads fall asleep. Also from Greek mythology. Orpheus used his lyre to put Cerberus to sleep when descending to rescue his wife Eurydice from the underworld. Rowling pulls from classical sources constantly, expecting readers to catch these references. Hermione's crucial first observation. While Harry and Ron panic, legs frozen, ready to bolt, Hermione calmly notes, "Did you see what it was standing on?" There's a trapdoor under its paws, only she catches this crucial detail while terrified. This establishes the trio's dynamic perfectly. Harry handles action and makes quick decisions. Ron provides emotional support and loyal backup. Hermione brings the brains and observational skills, Without Hermione noticing that trapdoor, they'd never figure out what's being guarded. Without her, they'd have died 800 times over by series end. The troll incident decoded. Halloween feast. Everyone's enjoying the celebration. Professor Quirrell bursts in screaming. Troll in the dungeons, thought you ought to know, then conveniently faints. Seems like a crisis, right? Emergency situation? Actually, Quirrell let it in himself to create chaos while stealing the stone. The whole performance is staged. Later revealed, Quirrell's acting was so bad that Dumbledore definitely noticed. The man can't lie to save his life, literally. But Dumbledore played along, using it as a sting operation to see what Quirrell would do. Dumbledore's already 10 steps ahead, setting traps while pretending ignorance. Fan question: why would Voldemort pick such a pathetic, weak-willed host? Answer: precisely because Quirrell's weak and easily controlled. Voldemort needed someone desperate enough to accept him, scared enough not to resist. Plus, Quirrell burns when touching Harry because his soul's corrupted by dark magic, fundamentally incompatible with Lily's love protection. That protection literally burns evil away. Hermione's isolation crisis. Hermione's crying in the bathroom because Ron thoughtlessly said earlier, no wonder she hasn't got any friends. She's a nightmare, honestly. For an overachiever who's probably never had real friends, that's devastating. She spent her whole life being the smart kid nobody likes, and now it's happening again at her dream school. When the troll barges into the bathroom, she's paralyzed with fear, completely frozen. Harry has a brilliant, insane idea, jumps on the troll's back and shoves his wand up its nose. Hilarious, yet effective. The troll can't see, can't think, just flails around destroying stalls. Ron uses the levitation charm, Wingardium Leviosa, to lift the troll's own club and knock it unconscious. Easter egg. Ron uses the exact spell Hermione corrected his pronunciation on earlier that same day. In Charms class, she smugly told him, "It's Levi O.H. Sa, not Levio S.A.H." He remembered her annoying correction, and that memory saved her life. This moment marks the turning point in their relationship, from antagonism to friendship. Hermione's character-defining lie. Professor McGonagall arrives demanding answers, furious and disappointed. Normally, Harry and Ron would face serious punishment, possibly expulsion. Troll hunting isn't exactly encouraged for first years. But Hermione makes a shocking decision. She lies for them, claiming she went looking for the troll herself because she'd read about them and thought she could handle it. The boys came to rescue her from her own stupidity. This is Hermione's first time deliberately breaking the rules. Previously, she was obsessively rules-oriented. Raised her hand for everything, never bent regulations, treated school guidelines like religious commandments. But in this moment, she chose friendship over rules, loyalty over perfect grades. McGonagall takes 5 points from Hermione and nearly faints from shock. Hermione Granger, volunteering that she broke rules? Unthinkable. Rowling writes, "From that moment on, Hermione Granger became their friend. There are some things you can't share without ending up liking each other, and knocking out a 12-foot mountain troll is one of them." One of the series' most iconic friendship quotes. Shared trauma bonds people faster than anything else. The bathroom's literary symbolism. In literature, bathrooms often symbolize overlooked spaces, places of vulnerability and isolation. Hermione's emotional isolation amplifies in the bathroom setting. She's literally hiding in the least glamorous location possible, crying where nobody can see. But it's precisely in this humblest corner that true friendship is born. Rowling symbolism is subtle but deliberate. Real friendship doesn't need grand gestures or beautiful settings. A shabby, troll-destroyed bathroom works just fine. Actually, it works better. Authenticity happens in unglamorous moments. Quidditch's deliberately broken rules. 7 players flying around. 4 balls in play simultaneously. Quaffle through hoops scores 10 points. 2 bludgers actively attack players, trying to knock them off brooms. Catch the golden snitch for 150 points and end the game instantly. Fans have complained for 20 years. These rules make absolutely no sense. The seeker just catches the snitch and wins, making everyone else's effort essentially pointless. You could be losing by 140 points, catch the snitch, and win anyway. The sport's fundamentally broken. But Rowling's design has deliberate thematic meaning. The seeker is Harry's metaphor. The entire wizarding world fights Voldemort. Everyone contributes, but ultimately, victory depends solely on the confrontation between Harry and Voldemort. Everyone else can try their hardest, score all the points they want, but the final outcome rests on the chosen one. It's not fair, but destiny rarely is. The double-cross twist. Harry's debut match against Slytherin. His Nimbus 2000 suddenly goes haywire, bucking like a mechanical bull trying to throw him off. He's hanging on by fingertips, hundreds of feet in the air, certain death below. Hermione watches through Hagrid's binoculars and spots Snape in the stands, muttering an incantation without blinking, staring directly at Harry. She panics, runs over, and sets his robes on fire. Snape gets interrupted, and Harry's broom stabilizes. Crisis averted, villain exposed, right? Wrong. The truth, revealed later, Quirrell was actually cursing the broom, sitting right behind Snape. Snape was performing a counter curse, protecting Harry while looking like the villain. Hermione setting Snape's robes on fire interrupted the protection, nearly killing Harry. The good guy was made to look evil, and the real villain was completely overlooked. This design is brilliantly layered. The apparent villain is secretly the hero. The ignored, stuttering side character is the genuine threat. Rowling's been playing with perspective misdirection since Book 1, training readers to question obvious narratives. Harry's unglamorous victory. Harry reaches the snitch, but nearly falls off his broom in the process, loses his grip, hanging upside down, desperate. He catches it with his mouth, the only body part close enough. Lands clutching his face, dry heaving from near death plus having swallowed a flying metal ball, finally spits out the snitch, nearly choking. Fans joke this is Quidditch history's most disgusting catch ever, absolutely revolting, but this detail perfectly captures Harry's character. No matter how messy, how dangerous, how undignified, he completes the mission. Winning isn't pretty. Heroism isn't glamorous. Harry's always been the guy who'll bite down on victory no matter what it costs him. Hagrid's strategic loose lips. After the match, Harry asks Hagrid about the cursed broom incident. Hagrid, trying to reassure him, blurts out, "Snape wouldn't do that. He's one of the teachers protecting the stone." Then immediately claps his hand over his mouth, horrified. "I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that." Fun fact, Hagrid is Hogwarts information leak specialist. Kind-hearted, loyal to a fault, but absolutely cannot keep secrets. He means well, but constantly spills crucial information. Dumbledore definitely knows this characteristic, but deliberately feeds Hagrid information anyway. Why? Because he needs Harry to discover clues through unofficial channels. Dumbledore's teaching philosophy rejects spoon-feeding answers. Rather than directly telling Harry what's happening, he creates an environment where Harry can figure it out himself. Hagrid's loose lips are a feature, not a bug, in Dumbledore's grand plan. The invisibility cloak's true nature. Christmas morning, Harry receives a mysterious gift with no sender name, a silver cloak that flows like liquid moonlight. The note reads, "Your father left this in my possession before he died. It is time it was returned to you. Use it well." This isn't ordinary magical equipment. It's one of the Deathly Hallows, the most powerful magical artifacts in existence. From the tale of the three brothers, the youngest brother requested from Death himself an infallible invisibility cloak. What makes it special? Never fades or becomes visible over time, like normal cloaks. Immune to revealing charms that detect hidden objects. Even Mad-Eye Moody's magical eye, which sees through walls and invisibility, cannot penetrate it, and it passes through generations without losing power, which is unheard of. Most invisibility cloaks fade within years. Fan complaint, Dumbledore casually hands out a legendary Hallow to an 11-year-old, and Harry uses it for midnight snacks, library sneaking, and restricted area exploring. Seems irresponsible. But Dumbledore knows exactly what he's doing. He's testing Harry, seeing if he'll abuse power or use it responsibly. The mirror of Erised's appearance. Harry wraps himself in the cloak and wanders the castle at night, exploring forbidden areas. He stumbles into an abandoned classroom and finds a magnificent, ornate mirror as tall as the ceiling. The frame's covered in strange inscriptions. The top inscription reads, "Eriste stra eruoit ube kafruoit anwasi." Written backward, it translates to, "I show not your face, but your heart's desire." Erised is literally desire spelled backward. Every detail is intentional. Rowling calls this her favorite magical invention, both romantic and dangerous. It shows you what you want most, which sounds wonderful until you realize how destructive obsession becomes. Harry's deepest longing. Harry sees himself surrounded by people in the mirror. Not just one or two, an entire crowd. Parents standing directly behind him, hands on his shoulders, mother smiling warmly. Father waving encouragingly. Grandparents, great-grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, a whole family tree of relatives he's never met. His eyes well up. He's never even seen photos of his family. The Dursleys removed every trace of his parents from their home. Now, suddenly, he sees so many relatives who clearly love him, who look proud of him, who want him there with them. An orphan's greatest desire isn't wealth, isn't fame, isn't magical power. It's belonging, it's family, it's love. This contrast defines Harry's entire character arc throughout the series. Harry craves love, which ultimately makes him willing to sacrifice himself for friends. Voldemort fears death above everything, willing to fragment his soul creating Horcruxes, destroying his humanity for immortality. Same starting point, orphaned, alone, unloved. Opposite reactions. Ron's insecurity revealed. Ron sees himself as head boy, wearing the prestigious badge, holding the Quidditch Cup and House Cup simultaneously. Captain of the team, more successful than all his brothers combined. Standing alone in the spotlight, finally the center of attention. This reflects Ron's deep insecurity complex. As the sixth son in a family of overachievers, he lives in constant shadow. Bill's a curse breaker for Gringotts. Charlie works with dragons. Percy's a prefect obsessed with rules. The twins are creative geniuses. Ron feels invisible. The spare brother nobody notices. His desire is painfully realistic. Not world domination, not infinite wealth, just recognition, just mattering. Who doesn't want to stand out, to be seen as special? This insecurity haunts Ron throughout the series. He abandons Harry and Hermione in Book 7, consumed by jealousy and inadequacy. Not until he destroys the Locket Horcrux, facing the illusion screaming, "You're always second choice," does he finally overcome these demons? Dumbledore's calculated deception. Dumbledore catches Harry returning to the mirror for the third night, gently says, "This mirror shows neither truth nor knowledge. People have wasted away before it, entranced by what they see. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Tomorrow, it will be moved to a new location." Harry asks, "What do you see when you look in the mirror?" Dumbledore smiles sadly. "I see myself holding a pair of thick woolen socks. One can never have enough socks. Christmas just went by, and I didn't receive a single pair." Dumbledore's lying, obviously. Fans widely believe he truly sees reunion with young Grindelwald before they're falling out, or his family alive again. His sister Ariana, killed in a three-way duel between himself, his brother, and Grindelwald. His greatest regret, his deepest wound. Why lie with something as absurd as woolen socks? Because he understands the mirror's danger intimately. He doesn't want Harry focusing on the teacher's tragic secrets instead of learning the lesson. He masks profound pain with gentle humor, deflecting attention while teaching wisdom. Side note, the woolen socks joke became a massive fan meme. Dumbledore merchandise, fanfics, endless jokes. It's both funny and heartbreaking once you understand what he's hiding. The mirror's brilliant final function. This isn't random magical set dressing. The mirror reappears in the final chapter as the stone's ultimate defense mechanism, the last obstacle before someone can claim it. Dumbledore hides the Philosopher's Stone inside the mirror using complex enchantment. Only someone who wants to find the stone but not use it can actually retrieve it. Want to use it for yourself? The mirror shows you using it, but you can't grab the real thing. Only pure intention works. Quirrell, controlled by Voldemort, wants to obtain and use the stone for immortality. He looks in the mirror and sees himself presenting it to his master, being rewarded. But no matter how desperately he reaches, grabs, the stone stays trapped in the reflection. He sees his desire endlessly, but cannot possess it. Harry only wants to prevent evil from claiming the stone, not for personal use. He has no desire to become immortal, create gold, or use its power. So the stone appears in his pocket, solid and real. His lack of selfish desire makes him worthy. This perfectly echoes the mirror of Erised's core message. True power lies not in desire itself, but in the wisdom to control desire. The strongest magic isn't about getting what you want. It's about knowing when not to take what's offered. Chapters 7 through 12 complete Harry's fundamental transformation from Hogwarts freshman to adventurer ready to face evil. This isn't just plot progression or magical world building. It's a carefully constructed parable about choice versus destiny, the chemistry of friendship, the danger of unchecked desire, and genuine growth through adversity. Rowling's narrative pacing is textbook perfect, studied in creative writing courses worldwide. She moves seamlessly from daily school life to life-threatening adventure. From surface-level events to profound internal character development, from Harry passively reacting to actively investigating and taking risks. Every single chapter builds essential foundation. The sorting establishes choice as central theme. Snape's class introduces hidden complexity and moral ambiguity. The troll creates unbreakable friendship bonds. Quidditch teaches that appearances deceive. The mirror reveals deepest character motivations. Everything connects. Everything matters. Everything builds toward Harry's confrontation with Voldemort in the final chapters, his first real test as the Chosen One. And everything these 6 chapters establish, the power of choice over ability, the value of friendship over rules, the danger of desire over wisdom, will be proven in that final confrontation and throughout the entire 7-book series. Alright, that wraps up today's deep dive into chapters 7 through 12. If you enjoyed this breakdown and learned something new about Rowling's masterful storytelling, smash that like button and subscribe for more literary analysis. Drop a comment telling me which chapter's symbolism surprised you most. Catch you next time.